Hello and welcome back to another episode on the Blockchain Insider. I'm your host, Vincent, and to kick things off for today's episode, I would like to ask our viewers to remember to subscribe, like, and share for more content from us. Today, we have a wonderful guest who has worked in corporate event management and hospitality for over 14 years in 5 different countries. Was originally from Ukraine. Now she currently resides in the Dominican Republic. She has transitioned to the Web3 industry in 2021. Her current position is the event and travel manager at Metis. Metis is a layer 2 Ethereum scaling solution industry. She has also created a signature community, which is educational event at the Metis Fest, and has established Metis presence in major Web3 event. Now, without further ado, please welcome Iryna Chekhova. Hello, Iryna.
Hello, Vincent. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us at Blockchain Insider on another episode. And a lot of our viewers may know you, and some of our new coming viewers that may not. Could you do a little more of a small introduction on who you are and what you do and the position that you are as an event and travel manager?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, my name is Iryna. I'm Ukrainian, and I've been traveling and moving from one country to another for many years. And I found myself in the events industry in 2008, and I consider this industry as my passion, and I would say like well-paid hobby instead of like an actual job, right?
Uh-huh.
Because it gives me the motivation and excitement of to do lots of projects, and especially when I see when it leads and how people having a good time and appreciative of everything. So yeah, this kind of like led me to apply to work in Metis
Oh, I
someday,
see.
one day.
Now, thank you for the small introduction as well. And just because you brought it up that how it brought you into the blockchain industry, that
Yeah.
was one of our questions that I love to ask our guests. The whole entire step by step of how you got into the blockchain industry, like like you said, it was their interest. Like, what interested you so much in blockchain that you wanted to thrive it as um a whole entire career?
Yeah, I would say I'm a newbie to the whole blockchain industry, and I learn things literally every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be learning every day and years by years because it's changing so fast, right?
Mm.
However, I honestly I wanted to work in the blockchain.
Mhm.
However, I had no idea how to get in, what to do, how it can be useful, and etc. etc. You know, but I had this idea in mind that I would prefer to work in the easy and cool environment with
Mhm.
like-minded people, with free people. You know, so and especially working from home or from any part of the world, you can do things outside of the country, you know.
Yeah.
So and before the COVID happened, I had a corporate job. I was
Mhm.
in the very famous and large hotel chain working in the events management team.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and after things happen,
Mhm.
it kind of like leads to overthink and reassess the career goals and perspectives, right? So
Yeah.
event management industry changed drastically, and I was like, okay, now we need to learn how to do events virtually.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and I was trying like, okay, I want to go back to the industry.
Mhm.
What should I do? So, and I saw the position, events management at Metis, and it was posted by Elena Sinelnikova, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, she is Russian, you know. So it's kind of like I already had a connection to the company, you know, because
Yeah.
they're like, you know, from the same area. I was like, okay, let me try and apply because I didn't do a deep research of what the company
Mm-hmm.
was, right? And half of those words I didn't even understand. I was like, well, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I will just learn on the go, you know?
Yeah.
So it kind of like led me to interview with Iryna and be introduced with the team to do the first Metis hackathon.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I absolutely enjoy and love working with at Metis and grow with them and learn from them. Yeah, so it's like kind of like a short, quick story.
Oh, no problem. So working at Metis, would you say you've learned a lot from the past time that you've already worked with them and currently?
Absolutely, every day,
Every day.
every day, every day you learn something new. Every day,
Every day. Now,
every day.
because of bringing back to like COVID and how events were extremely hard to kind of manage because of the whole online type of
Yeah.
situation. Was it hard to have such a creative mind for planning events, to plan events that would kind of attract attention and also get the involvement of viewers and people in the whole entire online surface to kind of come and join for this event? Was it very hard during that time, would you say?
I would say it was difficult
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't do it. We never
Oh, I
done it.
see. Mm-hmm.
Because in it just in whole in general like events industry, because events is something that you can go in and enjoy. This is
Yeah, it's something you
experience.
attend. It's something you attend.
Yeah, yeah, as we like I worked in the agency for about like 10 to 8 years, I would say,
Yeah.
event agency, right? So and we always said, oh, we are just selling an air because you
Mm-hmm.
can touch it, you can feel it, and you can
Correct.
see it before you purchase. So it's just like you're investing the money, you're paying for something that you're not sure what is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So to change that perspective of the events and make it successful and make it interesting for the viewers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just this is something that I've never thought of,
Yeah.
and it changed the whole perspective and mindset of the event
Correct.
planners.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a very hard time for any events to happen, and I could tell
Mhm.
the frustration and stress that all event planners such as yourself and a lot of individuals to try to come up with something that was efficient to help the company and also grow and attract attention in such a small limited space of the virtual world. Now
Yeah.
for because we've always learned a lot from Metis, from you. You've learned a lot from you being there. Is there any ongoing or upcoming projects that you could tell the viewers, or is it to just so that they get some little information on what Metis is and how Metis is built and stuff like that?
So about the Metis,
Mm-hmm.
like about Metis, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just yeah, Metis is that we are building at Metis. We are building the platform for the
Mm-hmm.
decentralized business,
Yeah.
and we call them the decentralized autonomous corporations, which are DACs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for the start, we scaled the Ethereum network, making transactions on our Metis Andromeda cost a few cents, using the smart layer to roll up. But now we are working on the dark tooling part of the platform, introducing
Mm-hmm.
the reputation power, which is all about tokens, into the community. So we are also developing a truly decentralized community where
Oh,
everyone can create their DACs,
so everybody
and
kind of gets their own individual dog, we would say.
correct,
I
yes,
see.
and they can be a part of the ecosystem. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so they can be two types. You can we can post a link afterwards showing
Okay.
our the roadmap.
Roman.
Yeah,
Oh,
so they
okay.
can compare. Yeah,
Oh, I see. Okay. I'll make sure we'll have that link in our
yeah,
description so people
yeah.
can check it out as well. Now to
Mhm.
learn a little more about Menace, we have viewers and maybe even some newcomers that want to join into the
Yeah.
blockchain industry as well. Learning from your experience, what would you say is the hardest part of joining the blockchain industry, and what would you say um, they need to keep in mind to join the blockchain industry?
Um, it depends on the personality, and it depends on
Oh.
what your goal is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're like a developer, that's different. If you're a
Correct.
marketer, that's another thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, and as a fact, I know that lots of like Web 2 marketers, they want to go to the Web 3, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically the same marketing, but a little bit tailored, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that's a transition.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to fulfill their dream and move forward towards approaching the Web 3 in the marketing, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
From if you have a solid portfolio, if you have a good experience and you can contribute, the team will take you and they will help you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Would you say in the blockchain industry, um it's everybody's a team player and it's easier to work? Because I know a lot of different industries, there's always a team playing industry and also a individual independent type of industry. What would you say blockchain as an industry is? Is it a team playing one or independent?
I would say everyone knows everyone in the industry.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, everyone. It's just like when you go to the parties, like I'm planning the events, but I rarely
Mm-hmm.
go there, right? So
Oh,
when you go
really?
to the events, yes, yes. If you go to the events, you literally like, oh, we met here, we met there, or okay, now we are moving to another conference, in another city, and it's like the same crowd again, So it's kind of
Also, it's
like you
just familiar faces every time you go to the
pretty
get-togethers and
much like the
gatherings.
same set of companies, the same, and everyone is very, very friendly,
Oh,
right?
that's very
And
good. That's very good. Yeah, because
yeah, and supportive.
we have some viewers. They're also very curious. Is it stressful for the event planners such as yourself to plan all these events for such big blockchain companies and industries that all attend at once? Is it stressful? Like, do you ever get nervous? We have a few viewers that ask, do you ever get stressed or nervous when it comes to these events that you have to plan on a limited time? Yeah.
I would say when I had a little of experience,
Mm-hmm.
I was very stressed.
Oh,
I was
really?
very stressed. Yeah,
It
because
was like your
you
first
know
time or something.
first like few projects, I would say,
Oh, okay.
especially when you're changing the company and you're told,
Yeah.
okay, this is a very important event.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's like, okay, like, okay, now you're overstressed because you just like,
Yeah.
because of the expectations that are placed by someone.
Correct.
But
Correct.
but the thing is this, it's like when you're stressed, your head isn't clear
Correct.
on the decision making, you
Yes.
know so for instance, if something happens, you're being stressed and you're panicking. This
Correct.
is You need to understand that you have to fix
Mm-hmm.
the problem right there. You don't
Yeah, because your
have
mind starts to flutter everywhere. You're not thinking
exactly.
straight at that point. I see.
Exactly. And especially when you do events for your company, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a newbie to the events or you want to like grow, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
one thing, you remember that the only person who know how the event should look like is
Correct.
you. No
Correct.
one
Correct.
else knows.
You
They
have the
will not know.
vision. Everybody
Yes.
is expecting that vision.
They don't expect anything because
Oh,
they're
they don't
not.
expect anything.
They don't. When you're attending the event, for instance, like any event let's say in Paris right now, they're all in
Yeah.
the IFC, right? And
Correct.
actually, by the way, we're hosting an event there right now. So when you're attending, you just know that okay, these companies are co-hosting, right? There's going to be a
Correct.
dinner or a panel or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have a clear like a vision what this event's going to be like. You don't know who
Correct.
you're going to meet there. So once you go in, you see all those small details and cute things, and this
Mm-hmm.
activity, that activity. But if
Yeah.
you, for instance, a truck will be stuck in traffic and you won't have a delivery on time and your activity is not going to be installed or
Yeah.
something,
Like some
people will not even
unexpected
know.
stuff. Like
Yeah,
unexpected stuff that happened. Oh.
yeah, unexpected stuff. So this is probably people who these unexpected things, this is
Hmm.
something that mostly people are worried about.
Correct.
Uncertainty, you know.
Yeah.
I'm always worried, like there's always some things that I'm worried about. This is AV,
Hmm.
audiovisual, is the most important in the events,
Uh-huh.
and that could go unexpectedly wrong, or power outage, or Rogers shut down for a day.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
Yes.
that everybody started panicking, and it was just hard for everybody to kind of like like focus and run anything because everything was off. Like I remember the gas stations weren't running, banks were not
Yeah.
taking anything,
Yeah.
nobody was able to go on the internet. And with the generation we have now, with everything being virtual, such as school as well,
Uh,
a
yeah.
lot of kids lost the interest of everything. They were like, I don't know what to do, and businesses didn't know what to
Yeah.
do, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I can tell the stress that as an event planner yourself, how
Yeah.
much that you have to kind of take onto your own like shoulders, and
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
make it work.
I had, during all those years that I work in this industry, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have so many stories that it's just like unbelievable. And in the end, I was like, I'm not even giving the reaction, I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what's the solution? What we can do, It's just
Mm-hmm.
because this comes with the experience, and it will
Yeah.
come regardless if you just keep working. And because this stress is something that you've never done before,
Correct.
so I can give you as an example. For instance, I was doing a giant, expensive wedding for one
Yeah.
couple. And I said, I'm not doing weddings anymore after that wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like that, to be honest. But yes. So we had, those two birds, like doves,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the
The
bride.
doves that kind of like make that heart shape with their heads, right?
No, no, no. You take the actual birds from the cage
Oh.
and brought in room. Yeah, this is like our tradition,
Oh.
yeah. And you kind of like uh, let them go and
Oh,
throw
you
them in
release
the
them.
air. Yeah, the bride and groom. Yeah, and they are like, okay, this means that if they're separated, it's not good. If they're like fly together, this is
Hmm.
good. So we had maybe like
Oh.
5 hours before the ceremony starts, and
Yeah.
that the venue was giant, um, and I had some people like installing the decorations, AV there, here, there. So I was just like running around. And one
Correct.
of the decorator, he was like, Iryna, I was like, what? He was like, you have a tiny problem. I was like, what happened? He was like, one of your dog took off. I was like, what? You know?
Really?
Yes. When I asked,
Oh.
yes, when I asked the assistant, I was like, "Can you just watch the birds, please?"
Yeah.
That just like there is nothing much we can do. I will be just
Correct.
helping and checking around, but I need you to watch the birds. He was like,
Correct.
"Okay." And then I turned around. He was like walking, because it's the park, nice area, and I was like, "Well, okay, cool." Well, I didn't. I had like I was like so calm, and I was like, "Okay." Hey, do you have a number of those bird cages
Hmm.
that you took those birds? He was like, yes. I was like, okay, call them and ask them to bring the dove and ask who is from our team right there in the city so they can pick it up. It was so funny, but some people, if they have such things, they
Yeah.
started panicking.
Yeah, like
So,
little things start to panic, and you as the event provider, you need to keep it calm, because if you were panicking as well, everybody else starts to panic. Like, oh, I don't know what to
yeah,
do. But that
yeah,
but deep down, it's must be so stressful for you, because you have to keep a calm, collective mind so everybody can keep calm, because if you were to panic, they start to go out of control too. So
yeah.
thank you for all the events that you've made, because it must be so stressful for yourself.
It is stressful when you have lots of things to do.
Yeah.
And especially when you're tight with the deadlines,
Correct.
you know, So for people who are not into the events and they don't know, like, okay, well, this is cool. What is it? Is it this is so easy to throw a party, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not. You have
No.
to know so many things. You have to know how these two work, you know, what works, what don't, you know. And it's like learning thing every time. And
Correct.
what I love about the events industry, and it's never the same.
It's never the same.
You, never the same.
Oh.
You can't have the same event ever again. It's always
No.
changing. Yeah.
Yeah, because it has to change to kind of catch the attention of the crowd that's in that
Correct.
situation, right? Oh,
Yeah.
because we also have viewers that sent in recently this week asking if they wanted to get into being a event planner or in
Mhm.
that industry, what would you say is the first tip you would give them as a newcomer entry level that wants to be in the event planning industry?
Yeah, I would say if they're newbies, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And they're, for instance, in Canada, I would say they have to do more volunteering.
Oh, really? Volunteering?
Yeah, volunteering. Like before COVID, pre-COVID, right?
Uh-huh.
There was a cool event with this Scotiabank, the marathon,
Mm-hmm.
right? They always have volunteers
Correct.
to do something, you know. This is very good experience to
Mm-hmm.
see how is it from the inside, the communication, because those people are very good with the communication, you know.
Correct.
And you could see from the inside what is the briefing, how they brief you, what is important, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And check many events so you could compare, you know, and see the strategy for yourself, like what kind of event planner you want to be. And then I
Oh,
really recommend to do the agency,
the
to
agency.
work in the agency, yes.
Now, what
Because
was the reason for working in the agency specifically?
specifically because you get to work with different clients, with the
Oh.
different industries, with the different types of events, because
Mm-hmm.
event is not just a dinner with a panel, you know.
No,
There are
no.
conferences, they are pharmaceutical cycle meetings, you
Correct.
know. There are so many other different things that in general can be a good combination in the end, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so don't stay in the same agency for more than 3 years, because you will be a
Oh.
manager of that agency and you will not
And
be
you want to
learning.
grow and you want to grow instead of
You want to
just
grow.
working there. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Before
really good.
coming, yeah, and some people like to work in the nonprofit
Mm-hmm.
foundation. It's another different and interesting, like events, I would say, industry, or you know, part of the whole event management.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very actually good um, developed in Canada.
Yeah.
So, but this is very different, very different.
I see. I see.
Fundraising is different. Yeah.
Fundraising is different. No, that's very
Mhm.
good because there's a lot of people that are interested into the event planning and they just don't know what's the first steps to take. And what you've provided them is extreme great knowledge and experience to them to know to join and do these certain things to get to where
Yeah.
they want to be, such as yourself. Because a lot of people say they don't know what they want to do, and they see something and they're interested in, and they always talk about it, but they just don't know what the first steps are, such as event planners.
Yeah.
A lot of event planners, they think of wanting an event, but then they start to lose hope into that event because they don't know if it's going to work or stuff like that. If they're in that type of situation, how can they overcome that situation and provide the service they want in that event industry that they want to do?
It's actually a good question, very difficult question. It depends on what kind of event and service they want to do. If they are wanna,
Oh,
yeah, for instance, you if you're producing an event and
yeah.
selling the tickets,
Correct.
It's different from where you need to do an event
Mm-hmm.
as for the client, a corporate event. They're
Oh.
very different, different marketing, different approach,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much different anything.
Oh, I see. So it's
Yeah.
always different. Oh.
Yes, yeah. So for instance, it just when you're doing an event for a client,
Mm-hmm.
let's say a pharmaceutical conference, right?
Correct.
You have kind of like a brief what this conference gonna look like, right? So you need
Uh-huh.
to find a specific venue, the logistics of the guests, how they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get there, what they're gonna do, and entertainment, F&B arrangements,
Mm-hmm.
security if it's needed, travels, etc., program,
Yeah.
and marketing materials. Because you already have guests for this event
Correct.
versus when you're producing an event and selling the tickets and or you're doing this event for free to the community. Those are
Mm-hmm.
different, so you
Correct.
have to do a different strategy for each one. Depends on the
Oh.
goal, what the goal you want to achieve. Always
Correct.
start with what's the goal of this event, what the target audience,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then what is the concept. This is so important to
Correct.
do because
Oh.
otherwise it will fall apart and you will be stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
That's the
timeline.
biggest thing. That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing.
critical path.
Stress.
Yeah,
Oh.
critical path of the event is really important
Mm-hmm.
um, to plan it because once you see how you do this critical path, right?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of like already picturing the event,
Correct. You kind
So
of
and
envision what's gonna happen at the event. I see.
correct. So it's just like once you settle down and have your mind cleaned up and have the budget, have the critical path, have the approximate agenda or the concept, you have to kind of like have to walk in as a guest there.
Correct.
So once I remember we were doing one proposal for 3,000 people, a corporate event for
Yeah.
3,000 people, and it was the winter for February months of February. Okay, back home in Ukraine, snow, Canadian winter, the same thing. So and I was just like, okay, well, we are also completed. Let me make sure that we are good. And I
Mm-hmm.
literally closed my eyes and I walked through the event. I was like, I forgot
Oh
the closing
no.
the closing rack. I was like, oh, we forgot. Where would they, 3,000 people, where would they put the coats?
Yeah.
And I was like, good catch. So I was like, okay, this is what I was worried about. There's no
Yeah.
code rack. So I needed to
Wow.
research, found it, and add it to the budget. Yeah, so these things, when you're walking in as a guest, what you're gonna do? Okay, you give your ticket, then you go in, you take the glass of wine, or whatever, a glass of soda, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you do the photo booth or whatever, something interesting, and you just like kind of like walk around yourself and see if you got everything signed in the budget or in the agenda.
Oh. So you
Yeah,
basically have to be in both shoes as the guest, but also as the event planner to kind of
absolutely.
get both sides. Oh, that's tough. That's very tough. So now to all our viewers that want to be in event planning, make sure you take notes on all of this because if you want to be an event planner, you need to make sure you are ready for the amount of obviously stress, but you also get the mindset that it's not easy and it's hard work to even be in this position. So learn from Iryna and get all this information and get the knowledge and information and experience from her. Yeah. Now,
Thank you.
funny that we're talking about events too. We also know that you're gonna be the guest speaker in the Futurist Conference that's happening August 9th to the 10th. As attending as Metis. Could you tell us what people could expect from you guys at the event?
Yes. So Metis is a proud sponsor of the Blockchain Futurist
Mm-hmm.
Conference and ETH Toronto, which starts on the 8th till the
Oh,
10th.
okay.
Futurist, yeah, it's just like starts one day prior as a hackathon.
Oh, okay.
So, and we are providing the bounties for ETH Toronto hackers and educational workshop and
Mm-hmm.
speeches for the futurists on the main stage. Iryna Chekhova, who is our CEO and co-founder of Metis and
Mm-hmm.
co-founder of the CryptoChecks, which is non-profit educational organization in the
Mm-hmm.
blockchain. She'll be speaking on the main stage.
Okay.
Um, yeah, right before. It's she'll be speaking on the main stage and, if I'm not mistaken, on the panel at the ETH Toronto. However, it's not confirmed yet,
Okay.
but definitely the main stage of the futurists for sure.
Okay. Perfect. And now because we're running a little short on time, I
Yeah,
just wanted to also ask two more questions
sure.
for the industry of the blockchain industry. If you were to give me your opinion on the blockchain industry, what would you say is the future of blockchain industry in 5 to 10 years from now?
Oh, okay. So I think that the future of blockchain is bright.
Mm-hmm.
However, it requires lots of work from us,
Oh.
and not only from the technology,
Mm-hmm.
and not from the technology for us. So basically, each person that wants to be a part of the decentralized future needs
Mm-hmm.
to learn to take the responsibility and kind of like be accountable for their own actions, right?
Oh, okay.
And they need to understand that they need to stop relying on and later and blaming the governments and
Right.
leaders and corporations. So the blockchain is responsible for the
Mm-hmm.
individuals only. Yeah,
Correct.
so it's bright but needs like lots of work and
Oh,
contribution from both
from
sides.
both sides, from both sides. It's like we were talking about earlier. It's a team effort type of situation where
Correct.
everybody has to be able to do it. Now,
Yeah.
if I love asking this question to all our guests on Blockchain
Okay.
Insiders, um, if you were to explain blockchain, what it means to you in only 5 words, it could be anything. What would it be and why those 5 words?
Decentralized,
Uh-huh.
free um, industry for the future.
Oh, now why did you pick those 5 words specifically why it means blockchain means to you?
Because basically decentralization is that you can be controlled,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You can you don't have to follow the specific um, guidelines of
Mm-hmm.
whatever part of the planet you are, right?
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
this could be our future, and
Correct.
it's free, right? So it's your contribution to it, as long as the tech industry as well who are building it. So, and it's very interesting, and yeah,
Oh, now, because we're running to our few more minutes at the end, thank you so much, Irina, for coming and being a amazing, beautiful guest on our Blockchain
thank you.
Insider episode for today. Is there anything you want to tell our viewers before we end it off from here?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say that if you guys want to like get into the marketing or events industry just in general in the web3 or any type of the industries, right? um, just go and do it.
Just go and
Don't
do
be
it.
afraid. Just go and do it if you really want it. You have to experience it, and if
Yeah.
you don't like it, you can always change it and move to another industry, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter what your age is.
It's take the
So
risk. It's like
take
take
the
the risk.
risk and
Yeah.
explore. Yeah. And
Because a
even
lot of
though,
people are afraid of taking that risk. That's why.
yes, and especially when you work somewhere, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
always an experience. You're going to use that experience in another like part of or aspect of your life. And
Mm-hmm.
events learning you so much and grow you as a I would say more a stronger personality, because you
Yeah,
have to take quick decisions. Yeah, but this, if you're not enjoying in this within years that you try, you don't like it, then change it and go somewhere else.
correct.
But you will be fulfilled that yeah, I've tried it and I didn't like, or I like that, and therefore I wanna succeed in this industry. So
Yeah,
always explore and grab as much information and knowledge from everyone around, and
correct.
remember that the bad experience is always is a good experience too.
Correct, correct. And a lot of people must follow that because any mistakes, it's not the end of the world. It's just experience and knowledge that you gain from the past that will strengthen you into the future.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Irina. It was so
You
nice to meet you. And thank you so much for everything
likewise.
that you've planned and events. And a lot of our viewers and such as myself are very excited to meet you in person at Futurist Conference on August 8th, August 9th and 10th and the 8th
Yes.
as well. So I hope everybody attends. And to our viewers that have been watching, please like, subscribe, and also comment down below with more of your questions that you would like to ask for our future guests. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem.